When we close our hearts, we may think we are protecting ourselves. We believe that if we shut out the pain, the disappointments, the fears, we will be safe. But a closed heart is not a shield. It is a heavy burden. Imagine a river flowing freely. The water moves with ease, adapting to rocks and bends along the way. But if you build a dam, the water stops. It becomes still, stagnant. Over time, pressure builds, and the water struggles to find a way forward. Our hearts are like this. When we close them, we stop the natural flow of emotions, connections, and experiences. Why do we close our hearts? Often, it is because of past wounds. Someone may have hurt us. We may have faced rejection, betrayal, or loss. The pain lingers, and in response, we tighten our grip, believing that if we remain closed, we won't be hurt again. But pain does not disappear just because we refuse to face it. Instead, it settles deep inside, creating loneliness, resentment, and fear. We also close our hearts out of habit. Over time, we build walls without even realizing it. We hesitate to trust, to be vulnerable, to express our true feelings. We convince ourselves that we don't need others, that it is easier to stay distant. Yet this distance does not bring peace. It only isolates us. A closed heart not only affects our relationships with others, but also our relationship with ourselves. We become disconnected from our own emotions, avoiding what makes us uncomfortable. We numb ourselves with distractions, work, or even spiritual concepts, using them as barriers rather than pathways to understanding. But is this truly the life we wish to live? If we continue to carry this weight, will we ever feel light? The truth is, no matter how much we try to protect ourselves, life will still bring challenges. The question is not how to avoid pain, but how to face it with courage. An open heart is not weak. It does not mean accepting harm or ignoring our boundaries. Rather, it means allowing life to flow, embracing both joy and sorrow, knowing that we are strong enough to hold them both. How then do we begin to open our hearts? This is what we will explore next. Opening the heart is not easy. If it were, we would all do it naturally. But after years of guarding ourselves, the idea of opening up can feel risky, even dangerous. We fear being hurt, misunderstood, or rejected. We think, what if I open my heart and someone takes advantage of me? What if I become vulnerable and no one understands? These fears are real, but they are not reasons to remain closed. Think of a child learning to walk. At first, they stumble. They fall again and again. But they do not stop trying. They do not think, I fell once, so I will never try again. They stand up, take another step, and little by little they learn. Opening the heart is the same. It is a process, and it requires patience. One of the biggest challenges is learning to trust, not only others, but also ourselves. We must trust that we can handle whatever happens. An open heart does not mean we allow others to harm us. It means we stop living in fear. It means we recognize that pain is a part of life, but it does not have to control us. Sometimes, we think of strength as the ability to stand alone, to need no one. But true strength is the courage to connect, to let others see us as we are, without masks, without pretending. It is the willingness to say, this is me. I may not be perfect, but I am here, and I am willing to share my heart. But where do we begin? If we have spent years protecting ourselves, how do we take the first step toward opening up? It starts with small moments. Choosing to listen deeply when someone speaks. Allowing ourselves to express kindness without expecting anything in return. Noticing when we feel the urge to withdraw, and gently asking ourselves, is this truly necessary? Every time we choose openness, even in the smallest way, we strengthen our ability to live with an open heart. The more we practice, the lighter we feel. The walls we built so carefully begin to soften. And with each step, we realize that life, even with its pain, is more beautiful when we allow ourselves to fully live it. Now let's explore what happens when we embrace life with an open heart. When we begin to open our hearts, something shifts. Life feels different. Not necessarily easier, but more real. We start to experience things more fully, without the filter of fear or resistance. Joy feels brighter, connections feel deeper, and even pain becomes something we can face, rather than something we run from. An open heart does not mean we will never struggle. There will still be moments when we feel hurt, disappointed, or uncertain. But instead of shutting down, we learn to remain present. Instead of pushing feelings away, we allow them to come and go, like waves in the ocean. We realize that we are not the pain itself, but the vast open sky that can hold everything without being broken by it. So how do we live this way? Not just once, but every day. It begins with awareness. We notice when we are closing off, when we are choosing fear over openness. We pay attention to the small ways we protect ourselves, turning away from a difficult conversation, hesitating to say, "I love you," avoiding eye contact with a stranger. These may seem minor, but they add up. Every moment is an opportunity to choose openness over resistance. Another way to cultivate an open heart is through simple acts of connection. Looking at someone and truly seeing them. Offering a kind word. Taking a deep breath and softening when we feel ourselves tense up. We often think that transformation requires grand gestures, but it is in these small, everyday choices that the heart learns to trust again. It is also important to be gentle with ourselves. We will not always succeed in staying open. There will be days when fear wins, when we close ourselves off without realizing it. But an open heart is not about perfection. It is about returning, again and again, to the choice of openness. In the end, living with an open heart is not about what we gain, but about how we experience life itself. When we live this way, we do not just exist, we truly live. And that is what makes all the difference. As we come to the final part of this journey, let's take a moment to reflect on what it really means to keep our hearts open, even when life challenges us. Living with an open heart is not a destination but a practice, one that we return to again and again. Some days it feels natural, other days it feels impossible. But each moment offers us a choice. Even when we close our hearts for a time, we can always open them again. An open heart does not mean we must welcome everything without question. It does not mean we must ignore pain or pretend to be unaffected by life's challenges. Rather, it is a way of being present, meeting life as it is, with honesty and acceptance. It is about allowing ourselves to feel deeply, to connect sincerely, and to live fully. As you go about your day, perhaps you will notice small moments where openness feels possible. A gentle smile exchanged with a stranger. A pause before reacting to a difficult situation. A quiet moment of understanding, even toward yourself. These moments may seem small, but over time, they shape the way we move through the world. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. Your presence here means a great deal. If you have found something meaningful in these words, I truly appreciate your support, whether through a like, a comment, a subscription, or even a super thanks. It is heartening to know that these reflections resonate with you. May your journey be filled with openness, understanding, and peace. And no matter what comes your way, May you always remember, the heart is never truly closed. It is always waiting for the right moment to open again.